Composing Gloves here, and today we're going to be making this sound. I may have gotten a little carried away here, but here's the preview. The sound, I've made a couple copies now and changed a couple things, but that's the sound we wound up making. Here it is as an example. So there's the example. I'm still working on this section here. I had to stop somewhere, so I just kind of stopped. Mixing things together, getting them to hit just quite right. Things started adding up. But anyways, that's the sound we're going to be making. So you've heard it. The basic idea behind this sound, at least where we're going to start anyways, is making a wavetable, applying what we talked about in the previous video on wavetable creation. So let's go ahead and start up a wavetable. We start up with the basic one. We'll go into the editor. We're going to go to a new wavetable. I'm going to start off with a sine wave. And this is all fine and dandy. Let's just put it right here, I guess. And then we'll go over to the end. We'll also put a sine wave there. Now we've got a sine wave across the whole thing. Now what I want to do is repeatedly process it. I'm going to use the sine FM option. And I want to be able to audition this. So let's add an LFO. Let's change its frequency to like 1.6 or whatever. And we will attach that to the frame so we can hear it. And it's moving. It's the same the entire way through right now. So let's go ahead. Let's make this amount higher. I dig it. Okay, let's go over here and let's try making this amount higher as well. So I came across with a low amount and messing with a couple other settings. I wound up at this, which I think is pretty cool as a kick. So I'm going to run with that. And I was thinking about doing a second pass of it, but this, I think I'm actually happy with where it's at. Because we can come in here. I dig it. And so now let's set this up as instead of an LFO, let's make it an envelope. And we're going to just hook this up over here. Let's change the concavity. Maybe we'll just make a cool kick. Let's go for that. Let's add in a distortion. Let's change the... Why is this mouse barely moving when I move it? Let's change the sustain. Let's bring the dynamic. Give him a lot more of an 808 kind of a thing. Oh my goodness. We can adjust the attack of the kick by moving the frame starting point. And let's go ahead. Let's add in a options now. Let's try something first. Let's go with the unison. Bring the spread up. Actually, what would this sound like without the... Let's add another distortion. Just distortions in a row, man. Okay, so if you use sine on this, you get a really cleaner result. The beginning is a bit clicky. Well, it's all that good stuff. Oh, where are we going with this? I dig it. This is a really complicated way to get this texture, though. People are like, how'd you make that sound? I'd be like, not an easy way. That's how. Let's go ahead, add on a filter. Let's go for a 3-band EQ, actually. Keep the low end under control. Let's follow that up with another. Actually, let's go with an ensemble this time. Now let's go with a verb, a verb, a verb, a verb. A verb. That's a reverser, not a verb. Reverb. Size down. Really like where we're going. Let's mess with the distortion settings on the first one real quick. So interesting. It's got to be just like this. Other settings screw with it in a way that I'm not digging. All right. Now let's go for a... I want to push the detune maybe a bit more. What would it sound like at a higher unison? Too much. Go for a... Not a pitch shifter, not a phaser. Let's go for another ensemble. I'm going to stop right here. Let's write it in a line really quick. I did make a couple of changes real fast. I brought the sustain up and messed with the release. I experimented with a couple of settings in here, not too much. And this is pretty much where I settled on. It's a lot of just like little tweaks. But that's just great. I want that. So I'm going to keep that the way it is. We should save it. We'll save it as user leads, save as square house thing. If we even make house with this. Perfect. All right, let's come in here. Okay, so I've got this pattern, but I'd like it to start off bouncy and then move into something that's like maybe more sustained. So I'm going to automate the sustain so I can do stuff like this. All right, so I have this little pattern right here, but it's already given me 100 ideas. Here's what it sounds like. Yes. So gonna make some quick adjustments in order to cater to this a bit more. Gonna automate this attack knob. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clone this and basically just move the sustain in the attack knob. The attack knob is going to be a bit more sensitive because it's going to just sort of drag out parts. See that? That's nice. This is a little thing, just a little. Keep going. Okay, I stumbled across something kind of cool. With this particular setup, if you go ahead and just add a second oscillator, you get this. All of those are pretty dope. So something a little unexpected. I forgot about the distortions I had at the front. I expected it to just sort of layer in. Listen to what happened. The attack does now. That's awesome. Still recording? We are. Okay, I may have gotten a little carried away here, but here's the preview. The sound, I've made a couple copies now and changed a couple things, but that's the sound we wound up making. Here it is as an example. So there's the example. I'm still working on this section here. I had to stop somewhere, so I just kind of stopped. Mixing things together, getting them to hit just quite right. Things started adding up. But anyways, that's the sound we're going to be making. For those of you who are at the end of this video and you just want to see a bit of what's going on here, this is what I settled on. I don't think I changed much. I've been working on this for a bit. I forgot where I kind of left off. I did clone it, and I made a version that used a sine wave. And I dialed up the verb quite a bit and changed up the envelope. And that comes in over here as a layer. That's what gives that the sound that it has. I think I maybe should dial up that bass, or as I feel like it could just be like, but then that's like a lot of mixing, and so I just kind of stopped right there because I was like, I wanted to get out the idea first, and now I just gotta kind of sculpt it. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day. One.